on my way now. I'm on my way now. I'm on my way now.
Well, the weather kind of captures the mood here in Halifax and Nova Scotia for that matter. It's a pretty gloomy day. It's been a gloomy past couple days as well.
Yeah, we're currently in lockdown, a 30-day lockdown. I think as we film this, we're on like day 5 or 6 or something like that.
Yep.
So right now we're just out to run some errands, get some exercise. We're staying in our community, in our neighborhood, and we're gonna walk around downtown Halifax and just take you along with us, see what it looks like.
So check this out. These poles are kind of feeling the vibe as well. The vibe that is doom and gloom.
Yeah, they don't look so good, do they?
There's one other person out, and the security guard who's, I'm not sure what he's doing. He's got binoculars. I've never seen the boardwalk like this. It's so empty. So empty.
It's usually packed. We just did a video a couple of weeks ago. I don't know when this is going to come out, but we did like a tour of downtown Halifax. There were lots of people at the time on the waterfront.
Yeah, well, flash forward to now. If you don't know, we're in lockdown here in Halifax. If you want to be filled in, check out our last video. And if you happen to be new around here, I'm Trevor, Anna, Delightful Travelers. We are usually traveling the world. Right now we are stuck in our home city, and yeah, we'd appreciate if you click on the like button below, the thumbs up button, help get the video out there. Let's keep walking on the boardwalk here, the waterfront, and see what we find.
I don't think I've ever seen these hammocks empty before. They're usually full of people, especially on a nice day in normal times, or even not normal times, but when we're not in a lockdown. Also, I just want to talk about the weather for a second because it's really, really weird. A second ago, the sun almost seemed like it was going to come out. I have sunglasses on, but it's raining, but it's cold. It's a very weird day.
Weird day. Okay, let's talk about what kind of lockdown this is for all of you that are not from Nova Scotia or Halifax. We are encouraged to stay at home. We can go out for exercise. We can run errands, like go to the grocery store. We have some things we have to do today. Kind of stay within your community.
Yeah, and it's been actually a little bit confusing about staying in the community, especially when you live in a city. Yeah. But maybe we can talk about that and touch on that a little bit later. So as far as things that are open and closed, all restaurants are either closed or takeaway. Schools are closed right now.
Yeah, like barbershops, salons.
And salons are closed.
I assume like massage, like therapy, spas.
I don't know about that. Spas, yes.
To look it up. Oh, we have a person that just ran by. That's kind of nice to see people exercising. But yeah, it's kind of like the lockdown we had last fall.
Last fall, except they didn't shut down the hair. You could get your hair done and that kind of thing at the point. So this is a little stricter than it has been. A little similar to how it was at the very beginning. But there is no. Some people ask if there's a curfew. There's no curfew, but really no one's really outside after.
Yeah. We're all for it. If you happen to be wondering, like, we think it's necessary to do this. Nova Scotia has low COVID numbers, thankfully, and this is why we basically kind of catch it early, even though the numbers are going up right now.
So basically here in Nova Scotia, the moment they see any community spread at all, they put things into a lockdown, varying degrees, but it's continuing to get worse every day as we film this. Hopefully, as it comes out, things are starting to go.
Yes, fingers crossed. So it's empty streets pretty much everywhere we look, and now we're down in what is usually a very busy area.
It's funny, I just noticed this is a clock right here. I've never even noticed it, really. I've never really looked at it before. There's another clock tower down here.
Look, take a look. I don't think I ever really looked at that, and maybe we're noticing it because there's no people around.
Exactly, yeah. I'm probably used to just like watching people kind of around here, and we did talk about Theodore Tugboat. He used to be down here. Yeah. So maybe I was distracted by Theodore. So if you happen to be wondering, it's a work day, and right here at the Ferry Terminal, there should be so many people. Look, it's right behind me. Yeah, and it's like 3:30 as we film this right now, so a lot of people would be starting to get off work and taking the ferry home to Dartmouth at the moment. This is by far the least amount of people I've ever seen in this area. So as a lot of you guys already know, last year this time we were stuck in the Philippines in lockdown, so we had to find some way to spend our time. We obviously made a lot of videos and it was really helpful, really distracting, but we also got a lot of stuff done that we were meaning to do for a long time. One of them was creating a Patreon account. We still have that. It's a great way to support the channel if you're so inclined. There's also a join button down below. Very similar kind of thing. We also created some merchandise. We got t-shirts, sweaters, a whole bunch of different types of swag. maybe since we have all this extra time on our hands right now, maybe we'll add some stuff to the store. So if you guys have any specific requests, anything you'd like to see in there, leave us a comment.
So this is wild, like all those empty chairs, usually those are filled up and socially distanced. We're pretty much the only people down here on the waterfront right now. I mean, there's been a few people like jogging, things like that, but man, this is eerie, honestly.
Ooh, it's windy right here. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. But for a lot of you guys, you're probably thinking to yourselves like, oh, I'm so used to that feeling, that eerie feeling of nobody being around in my city, just because you've been through a fair bit of lockdowns, depending on where you're from. For us, as I just said, like we were in the Philippines for most of the real lockdown part of 2020 when everything happened. By the time we got home, it was summertime, things were starting to open up and things felt a little bit more normal. And then in the fall, in the second lockdown, second wave, it was just like, it was almost winter time, so people were inside more, and we didn't live downtown at the time either, so it just feels different, it feels weird.
Check this out, we are in Granville Mall Square, and once again, the theme of the video, there's no one here. I mean, it's great that there's no one here. It's also raining. It's kind of a gloomy day, but yeah, this is just so strange to see. And this is going to be the theme of the video. The more we go through this, we're just going to keep saying this is all so strange to us. So now we've come over to Barrington Street. Again, not many people here. There is some traffic around. We're going to walk into Grande Parade Square now. You guys might remember this from a couple of our videos, but take a look. The theme of the video. There's
not many people.
I think we're the only people. The only people in here, along with some pigeons.
So many of you guys left tons of comments on our last video, our lockdown video, where we explained what was happening, we updated you. It's funny how you can get all these comments and certain ones will just stick with you. There was one person that left a comment. It was a really good comment, but basically saying, stop complaining about lockdowns. They're really important. But at the same time, so many people have lost loved ones. She knew a couple people that have died of COVID. And basically said, like, we should not be complaining about lockdowns because of these people that have lost people. And I completely sympathize with anyone that's lost loved ones through this. It's awful. It's a horrible thing to go through. At the same time, I think it's unfair to ask people not to complain, not to express their frustration over lockdowns. We're not saying, nobody is saying that they shouldn't be happening. There absolutely should be lockdowns. Very, very, very important. At the same time, it's super hard on everybody's mental health. We're all having a hard time, and I don't think there's anything wrong with saying you're frustrated, you're not feeling great.
I mean, the big thing is we shouldn't be comparing situations.
Everybody's
right?
going through something
Absolutely.
to varying degrees.
If there's anything we've learned this year, I mean, mental health is top of mind. And guys, like for any of you watching that are struggling, I've struggled with it in the fall and still do a little bit. It's okay to not be okay with something. It's okay not to feel good.
Yeah, and it's okay to say you're not feeling good. So I just wanted to say that. I think it's important that we all feel compassion and empathy towards one another at this time.
So back to the comments, like what encouraged us to kind of do this and film these videos, and we did it last year in the Philippines when we were on lockdown, is all the messages we get from you guys just saying how much you appreciate it. At first we were even like, could we film a video on our lockdown? But I think it shows you, so all the subscribers watching, kind of what we're going through, and you can relate to it. And I know also it gives you something to watch and look forward to while you're stuck at home.
So many people have told us that it was a distraction, it was something to do, something to occupy your mind, take you a little bit outside of your own experience at the time. So thanks for that, guys.
And also, it gives us something to do as well.
Exactly. I mean, because something to occupy our time, something to think about, something to focus on.
And what do you think about more lockdown videos like last year? Like more videos than once a week for a while? It's just a thought. We're stuck in a 500 square foot apartment, but we can go out for exercise.
We don't have a pool and really gorgeous sunsets this time around.
I miss the Philippines right about now. So we just come over to Spring Garden Road. There's a little more activity here.
Yeah, more traffic.
The library's over there. So you guys might recognize this.
Yeah, we had it in a couple videos ago. We did a whole tour of downtown. Looked quite a bit different. But yeah, the library, some traffic, a few people around, definitely a busier street. So we put our masks on. And I know in previous videos, people have asked us that are not from Canada what the rules are about masks outdoors. You really don't need to wear them outside unless you're here in Nova Scotia. You need to wear them if you're in like an area that you can't socially distance. So like farmers markets and places like that, you're required to wear them.
It is so strange to see our city like this. I mean, Spring Garden Road has the most amount of people, but there's not many. This is by far the least amount of folks I've seen on the street. And this is, I think we said in one of the other videos, like the busiest street east of Montreal. We're pretty sure about that.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, back to it's all just so strange. We thought we'd stop in here to the Public Gardens since it's right off Spring Garden, just to see again if there's anyone in here. There are a few people walking around, but
It's pretty quiet.
Not
going
very.
Theme of the day. It's pretty quiet.
Not very busy, but it is very pretty here.
It's funny because you see like the tree and the bridge behind me. It's kind of the most like photogenic spot in the whole park, and usually there's a lineup of people trying to take photos and that kind of thing here. Obviously today, not so much.
It's so strange to have this all to ourselves. You can see a little stream here. Usually there's some ducks around. I think the big lake has, I don't know if it has turtles in there or not. Do you know if it has turtles?
I want to say it does, but I may be thinking of, I've been to so many different cities throughout the world that I could be just thinking of other cities that I've been in parks that have turtles. So
Leave it to us to not know what kind of animals are in our ponds in our own city, but check this out. Once again, there's no one. I don't see anybody in front of me here. Hopefully this gives you guys a good example of just how barren the city is. There's just no one around, a few people here and there, but wow, like this is something else.
So question for you guys, mainly if you're from Halifax, hopefully you can somewhat answer this or have an opinion about it. So basically, as a lot of you guys know, there's a rule that you can't leave your health center, your health, whatever you want to call it,
Region?
health region.
Yeah.
So we basically are not allowed to leave HRM. We could get fined if we did. At the same time, they also told us we shouldn't leave our communities, which has been really, really vague and kind of confusing. I feel like everybody has their own interpretation of it.
Yep.
So
They do.
I know they've asked a lot, like the media has asked a lot of questions about it, and it still seems really confusing. One example they gave was if you don't leave, basically stay in the area where you do your grocery shopping.
Yeah, so that's easy when it comes to like if you live in Inverness or like Bedeque when there's no other towns around. I mean, that's obvious. But when you live in HRM or even Cape Breton's regional municipality, it gets a little more gray.
Yeah, so like for us, do we not leave downtown Halifax? Do we not leave the peninsula? Or do we not leave HRM? Like what if we want to go to the beach or like go on a hike somewhere where there aren't any other people?
Yeah, that's the thing.
That?
They've encouraged us, to get out and enjoy our nature, but we're just not sure what you all think. We've already got messages from you, some of you saying no, stick to like where your grocery store is, and then others are going no, go to a beach as long as it's in HRM or go on a hike. Make sure you're obviously not around other people.
Yeah.
So just curious what everyone thinks. I'm not quite sure where we're gonna sit to do the wrap up.
This is gonna be really hard to social distance from everybody. So.
I know. How do you even pick?
Let's just pick one.
Oh, really? You're gonna pick that one?
Yes.
Really? Of all the
It's dry. Because it's been raining today, it's dry and there's no bird poop on it, so win-win.
All right, so let's talk about what is next for us in the channel for at least a month, maybe longer. I have
Hopefully
a feeling
not,
it's
but
longer.
Probably going to be longer than 30 days.
What is next?
I don't know. That's the straight up answer. I have no idea what we're going to do. We're going to, I guess, take the next couple of days and just like brainstorm some ideas.
Yeah, I think I said
some video ideas.
I said earlier, or maybe in another video, like this threw us a curveball, but like instead of missing the ball, it hit us smack dab in the face. So now we don't know what to do. It just changed all of our plans.
We had so many plans too.
I do want to thank all of you for all the suggestions in the last video. You guys left us a lot of good comments. A lot of you want to see cooking again.
Yes.
We might have to do that. We'll see.
No one actually that I
wind.
saw anyway said what country, if they wanted us to do a specific country or just cooking in general, some of our favorite recipes. So if you have ideas for like, why don't you cook from this country or do this?
So we're going to be here in Halifax, obviously, for the unforeseeable future. Probably we'll do more videos. Again, we can go out for exercise, and we'll take the camera and you guys along when we can do it.
Figure out if we're going to do it weekly or more often. Not sure yet.
Again, just want to thank all you guys for watching, all your comments, hitting the like button. It really means the world to us, especially given the situation.
Yeah.
It's
and
great.
Vlogs like this are always feel super weird for us, just because it's so not what we're used to doing. So thank you guys for watching and following along.
And for all of you that are new, it's Trevor, Anna, Delightful Travelers. Click on subscribe to follow along with our adventure here now during quarantine in Halifax. And for all of you that are not new, it's nice to see each and every one of your faces again.
All right, guys, that's it.
From Halifax, wishing you a safe and healthy quarantine.
See you soon.
Oh,